Look at that fancy new lift we got in the last bay. We got to move that table though. Obviously the workbench being there, no room. And that table is about 800, 1,000 pounds. Give you an idea how thick that steel is. It's thicker than my chubby little thumb. We're not here for lift installation. Don't worry, you're in the right place. I'm Jimmy. We're making it work. Ooh, the sun is strong this morning. We're gonna get pretty warm. It's about 62 right now, but I got a feeling we're gonna be in the mid 80s. We will see what happens. We got another BMW over here. I think Kyle's working on that BMW. You saw yesterday. I'm gonna do the power booster. It has a hydraulic brake booster. I'll be doing that today. I'm probably first thing. I'm not sure, but we'll put some clips in right here so you know exactly what's gonna happen in today's video. Chevy box van time. 2005 Chevrolet Silverado. This one's been out here a few days too. All right, so there you have it. I gotta finish getting the shop opened up and see what's going on. I think someone's coming to buy the Hyundai today. They looked at it last night right as we were closing. Just driving by, I saw the for sale sign in the windshield, and that's the first person to come look at it. They're buying it for their son for a first car. So he's bringing cash money. We're gonna do our transaction. Someone's gonna get a great car. I didn't think it would take that long to sell, but nobody wanted to come look at it. They want to offer you half what you're asking. It's just typical. That's just how it works, right? So anyway, let's do our best to get in there, learn a thing or two, have some fun, and put a little money in the bank. Stay tuned. You know what time it is. Chevy box van time. Now, I should be able to pull this master cylinder off of here and set it to the side and get that booster out of there. Probably pull this reservoir off too. Those are 10s. I think it's 14 or 15 on the master. And we'll see how it goes. Oh, look at that. You can't have it facing that way. That's crazy. That's better. I'm not even done yet and I'm fixing it. Be disconnected from the booster with a non-reusable clamp on that thing. Okay, that's fine. We'll non-reuse it. How about that? Now I'm going to get the I think it's a 14, I want to say. Like I said, it's a 15, I think. I've never seen one with a 16, but I have seen them with 14s and 15s. Should be able to do this whole job at a 3/8, I hope. It is a lock nut. Look at that fancy thing. I wonder if the replacement one will come with new nuts at all. And if it does, are they going to be so fancy? I doubt it. There's a fluid level float in the master. So I want to unplug that so I get more room and move it away. I'll drop it. Vans are cavernous valleys of hardware and tools that have been dropped forever, never found. Oh man. I don't know. I don't think it gets a lot easier than that, does it? Now, take note, this connector has a butt plug in it. Or, not sure if that's what it's called. That's what I call it. So, terminating plug, that's it. Weather barrier plug, I'm not sure. Now this line wraps around and screws in over here. You can see that. The glare is, the sun is coming right in here big time. This clamp, I can pry open. I might need a larger screw. Uh-oh, remember what I talked about, things being never found? Oh, there it is. Butterfingers. I'm gonna have to get a bigger screwdriver, pry that clamp open. If you pry them open just right, you can reuse them. And once those lines are off of this, it connects the same way as a vacuum booster. It's held on the firewall from inside the truck by 4 bolts. It'll have 4 bolts on that square flange back there. And the push rod goes to the brake pedal just the same as it does with a vacuum booster. You have to unclip the push rod, take the 4 bolts off the firewall, and it pulls out. The only difference, it uses hydraulic power steering pressure to give you brake pedal assist rather than engine vacuum. A lot of cars that they have big cams and stuff, muscle cars and stuff, they're converting over to these hydraulic steering things. I thought about doing it in my 62, but it's like another $1,100, so we're not doing that. If you have a vacuum booster and a big cam that provides low engine vacuum, then you could put a vacuum canister that will store some vacuum while you're going down the road. So on deceleration, it's going to make plenty of vacuum no matter how radical the engine is. Anywho, I think it's a 16 or 5/8 on the line, and we'll get a good screwdriver for prying that clamp open. A little from one side, a little from the other side. Now, that might be about all it takes. Let's try to go a little further. I don't want to hurt the rubber if I can avoid it. If I need to, you can cut it a little. There's plenty of room there to trim some rubber and get a fresh start, but I think that'll be good. Once I fit my needle nose under there, it's all over but the crying. Haha! You can make a mess if you want, that's fine. It's been making a mess for a while, that's why they want to fix it. It'll drip in a safe place if it's going to drip. Now the new booster will come with that nipple usually. You don't have to transfer it over, but keep in mind you might have to. 16 millimeter. Uh-oh. Are you making me a liar? Is that a 17? You know what? I'm going to grab a 17 and an 18. I don't remember them ever being that big. Let's see if an 18 works. That seemed pretty quick, didn't it? I got that really quick. Pressure line is a hard line, and the rubber low line is the return line, just rubber. Not a lot of pressure in it, a few pounds. That's why when these things have leaks, it's normally the pressure hose or the booster. It might be attached to a bracket or something here. Let's see. Nope, it's just hung up on the O-ring. There it goes. Let me get my little bungee cord, hold this out of the way. That'll work. Pressure in, pressure out to the power steering, and a return line to the reservoir. Ugh. They are pretty tight. But once they break loose, they tend to be finger tight monsters. A couple of turns, should be able to get it with the digits. Ooh-wee! This clips on with this little metal tab. You gotta bend that little foot away. And this one also has a 10 millimeter bolt I've never seen before, but it goes through like that. I guess it's a safety measure, I think. So, take the booster off of there and the pedal swings free. These are the 4 bolts I was talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and undo those. We'll go back out front and we're lifting that thing out of this truck. Look at that son of a gun. What? This is a thing of beauty in here, behold. Behold. Oh, this is going to be like a brand new box truck shortly. I had to pop this out of the old one, and I'm surprised the new one doesn't come with it. And it also doesn't even come with that retainer clip that you kind of have to pry it pretty hardcore. This end with the washer goes in here. Then you see that little ridge in here. That's where you have to push this to while you hold the spring and everything together and hope it doesn't shoot across the parking lot on you. I'm going to get some kind of a socket that fits that to push it in. The socket should fit it good. It lets the fingers move a little bit. Doesn't push on the rubber. 24 millimeter happens to be perfect. Sits on the spring just like this. Doesn't matter what direction it goes in. We'll see. We'll see if it matters. Gotta go way further in than that. I don't want to bend it. seems like it's kind of a requirement, huh? So, this. Gravity check, aisle 3. I know it's not an aisle, it's a bay. I wish they'd give you a new one of these, because I guess it just retains the spring. When you put it all together, the master cylinder will also be in there. The master cylinder kind of comes right up against this. It's not going anywhere. So it's not like bent so bad that it's going to be bound up. It has to have a little freedom to move for a reason, I would think, because the notch for that ring is 1/4 of an inch deep, and the ring's only a piece of sheet metal, basically a spring metal. That's the hole we're going to be feeding this all through to get to the brake pedal. Try to get it close. It goes up here. It's going to go up here where the pin is. So what I like to do is put them in most of the way, not shove it all the way in. Make sure that the pedal linkage is going to line up with the pedal itself. Sometimes I'll even hook it on to that pin sticking out of the brake pedal. Then get my nuts on there and get it cinched up the rest of the way. That's the plan, at least. Let's get the unit and dump it in there. Put new O-rings on. It comes with O-rings for both lines. I went in and changed them while it's out of the way. It just seems a little easier. And I'll drop this thing in here. Leave it about there. Go see what that brake pedal linkage looks like. One hand. Hope there's not too much glare. We are going back together. Of course, you guys have been watching a while. You know what I'm about to say. Don't thread these in with power tool. That's what I'm saying. Wrench down. This hose might be leaking a little too, but they didn't want to do anything else. Matter of fact, they told us what was leaking, and we said we need to check to make sure. They said nope, just put a hydro boost in it. And for some reason we said okay. I guess we don't have the liability, although you always have the liability. They'll tell you what to do. If it doesn't fix it, it is your fault. So that's why I don't like to do it. Alright, there it goes. I can get this up and this hose and that clip-a-doodle. Uh-oh. The paint is all peeling off of the reservoir, but that's alright. Hope no one put the wrong chemicals in there. I haven't checked that yet. Power steering fluid is basically mineral oil, transmission fluid, same difference. So you don't want to put engine oil in there ever. I'm going to get my side cutters and squeeze that. I think I actually have the tool for that. Let me look. It's been a while since I used it, but I'm going to do that before I put the master cylinder back up in my way. Made in the USA. I've had this a long time. Doesn't say who makes it on it. I probably bought it off a tool truck years ago. I'm guessing I bought this in the 90s when we did a lot of CV boots. It squeezes the clamp together and this pushes it down so it doesn't just puff up. Kind of keeps it a little flatter. I can still roll it a little. That makes me a little nervous. Alright, that's good. Get that master on there next. Well, my lines are tight. 2 of these. Tighten one of these. Let's just hit this one again and make a show. I'm gonna go grab some power steering fluid. It's full right here now, but when we start it up, if the hydro boost isn't 100% full, obviously that's gonna drop. And I don't want to let that pump scream too long. Let's fire this thing up, see how good the fluid level is without doing anything, and then we'll, if the fluid level is okay after it runs a minute, we'll adjust the steering a little back and forth, try to purge air, press on the brakes, try to purge air from the booster, check the fluid level a couple times. checks all over the place this morning. Much easier to add more than it is to remove some. I'm going to go in there and work the steering and brake pedal a bit. Looks pretty good. Didn't take as much fluid as I thought it might. No leaks, everything looks good. Short road test. I don't even really need to road test it. I mean, I did what they asked, but I do have to make sure our part isn't defective right off the bat. Give it back to them and have them go, I don't have any power brakes. That would be bad. I gotta tighten these too. Thanks for mentioning it. Good looking out. That's why I always go over everything a couple times. Everybody is a human. Lever's plugged in. On a drive, I'll listen for funny noises, see how the pedal feels. If that's all good, then we're done. We'll see what's next. All right, I'm gonna look at this truck that was dropped off Monday for no crank, no start. 2005 Chevrolet Silverado. Someone's been doing some stuff in here. Let's get our seatbelt out of the way. Get our paperwork out of the way. Get a free quarter if you want it. Tootsie Rolls, whatever you need, we got it all. 2005, my goodness gracious, like brand new. It's actually not in bad shape, just needs to be cleaned up. The key doesn't feel right already. Got a dead battery. Okay, let me get a jump box. He said he put a battery and alternator in it, still don't start. But the battery's dead. No worries, we'll get it. I can't even see the mileage, the odometer doesn't light up. So, love rating a 2. You know what? I'm gonna go 3. No food, just clutter. And we'll grab a jump box, see how it goes. Put the old JS3000 on there, fired up like a champ, and drove it right over. I think it's got a bad battery. He said he just put a battery and alternator in it. It's July of 23. Almost a year, not quite. Let's make sure it's charging while it's running. I know it is because my jump box would have timed out and turned off by now. I've got to find a positive terminal. Let's see something. See if it stays running without that connected. That'll tell me something. Positive, negative, 15 volts. Well, that in itself is a problem. Charging test. Start engine. AC ripple is not bad. I think it's got a bad battery. It's trying not to overcharge it because the battery's bad. Charging error 15 volts is because it's too high. So now I'm going to go into battery test and shut it off while we got it up at the shop. The guy came to, he drove the Hyundai last night. He said he'll take it. We shook hands. He came down this morning and said he wanted to drive it again to make sure the transmission's okay. I'm like, okay. I'll let him take, he put his tag from his car on to drive it. That could go terribly wrong if he crashes, but we cross that bridge when we have to. I'm not going to assume bad stuff's going to happen. Cold cranking amps, 700, testing. I got a feeling the battery's just bad. I hope this didn't sit out in the grass for 4 days with because of a bad battery, waiting for me to get to it. Replace battery, 355 cranking amps. Okay. So now I can print. I can exit and I can go review data, battery test, see if it has a cranking time normal, charging high. I'm going to print that and I'll print cranking test normal. You got all kinds of printouts now. It's got a bad battery. We'll put the battery in and make sure the charging voltage corrects itself. Right now what happens with a bad battery is there's not enough resistance, so it's the alternator's trying to charge it and then it's kind of pulling back going, what's going on? I can't keep the alternator from overcharging. So that looks like what's happening, and we'll verify it once we put a battery in. The owner of that Chevy truck is gonna come get it and do the battery himself, I suppose. We got a sweet 2001 Sport Trac to look at next. Smoking and leaking and causing a ruckus. So this one's been out here a few days too. And since it's not a quick, easy repair, Jimmy, I'm optimistic. Just based on the hood scoop alone. 99,000 original miles. That's about all you can hope for. Oh man, that thing runs like a champ. I don't understand what the complaint is. Runs like a champ. I wonder if the smoking are talking about oil leaking onto the exhaust or something. Let's see what we can do to make this into a productive day. No matter what. Sometimes the current gets strong. You just row a little faster and everything's gonna be a-okay. 2001, my goodness gracious. We didn't even give it a love rating yet. I'm so excited to work on it. I can't even calm myself down a little, give it a love rating. Oh, I'm gonna say 5. I mean, pretty old. It's actually, check fuel cap, check engine. Uh-oh. Let's see if the windows work. Oh yeah, oh, not really. Oh, stop. Don't go down too far, because then I won't get you up, I got a feeling. The guy with the Chevy truck, he actually said, yeah, go ahead, put a battery in it. Then he called back 20 minutes later, don't put a battery in it. You guys are making too much money, I'll do it. That's what happens. He's like, you guys charge 170 bucks, I could buy it for 149. Yeah, that's true. But anyway, look at that, that's a spare. Didn't ask about that. You gotta do something to get extra air to the motor. How else you gonna race? Oh, they've been working on this one too. New wires. They're not in the looms or anything, but that's all right. They didn't bother with that. It's no big deal. What are you gonna do? It's got hoses. I see what looks like a belt. Fan clutch possibly new. Maybe the water pump. Coolant housing looks like it's leaking. I smell coolant. These are, he's got good hood struts. Holy moly. That's an awesome customer. When they replace their hood struts just so they don't get hit in the head and then you get the benefits of it too, that is nice. Nobody likes having a hood hit them in the head. Don't trust it 100% though. Seems okay. I'm gonna get a light and stop horsing around. See if the coolant housing's leaking or water pump. I see some coolant from that upper hose. I wonder if it popped because it doesn't look like it was changed. Hard to say. It's definitely swole. So we'll take, that doesn't seem right. This is supposed to face forward, this little flap. Not supposed to face back. They must have put a thicker radiator. The tank's thicker, but the core isn't. The core is what actually does the cooling. The tank adds capacity, that's all. But I mean, they both kind of do it a little to some degree, but the core in the center of the radiator, that's where the heat gets dissipated. The volume just determines how long it takes to saturate the cooling system versus oh yeah, that hose is not doing too good. And they do have quite an array of hoses on these monstrosities. Ford was like, you know what, if some hoses are good, more hoses are better. You can see it's been leaking. Maybe I'll take the air snorkel out of the way next and we'll try to get in there a little more. That's where the leak is though. What is that underneath there? Is that a deteriorated hose under there? I see, or just a remnant of an old hose. It might be something that fell down there a long time ago. It feels like it might be attached to something. I see coolant puddles in the, yeah, okay. That's gonna be where it's leaking. I'm gonna pull this off just to look some more, but we're gonna end up with hoses and the coolant housing. Pretty common on these. You'd have to take the plenum off to do them. They're not hard, but the bigger problem on an old vehicle is plastic's gonna want to break and things like that. So let's get this open, just look a little bit closer. Come on, you can do it. The guy that was buying the Hyundai came down. I told you he took it for another drive, and he came back. He said, I just noticed the dash is cracked. I'm like, yeah, I know. If anyone has ever tried to buy a used car, you know, you can spend months looking at everybody's junk, cars that have been wrecked and patched together and stuff. That Hyundai, all kidding aside, that was probably one of the nicest used cars under $10,000 on Facebook Marketplace. So it is what it is. I'm not going to go down another penny on it. I'll just keep it if nobody wants to pay that. Supposedly he's still going to buy it, but he's acting like he wants me to lower the price some more, and I'm not doing it. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, this is definitely leaking. Someone's done some work on it. Water pump, bypass hose, thermostat housing. The upper hose isn't even original. It's been replaced, but you know, a long time ago. So hard to say for sure. So I'll go ahead, top the coolant up. All right, go in there, will you? Gotta love them little teeny tiny filler necks. Pouring coolant or water into a 3/8 inch hole, it's easy. I've already put about a half a gallon in. And I said, you know what, my friend might want to watch. And I was pouring it with the jug facing from the other side. It was a little easier. But I don't want to put it in your face, so I turn it the other way. Get you some of that. Alright, let's get some more. I'm going to probably work outside most of the day if I can. They got a concert going on in there, lots of loud music. And I don't want to get copyright strike. I had a video a couple weeks ago. It was about 6-8 seconds of background music, and they gave me a copyright strike and said all the money that I make, my fortune, goes to the creator of that 8 seconds worth of music. So I had to delete the video, re-edit it to take that music out and re-upload it. I find it amazing that 4 hours worth of editing, an hour's worth of filming during the day at work, and all of that, and I'm not entitled to any of the revenues because of 8 seconds of background music from a washed up artist that's no longer with us. But that's alright. I can get my 22 bucks. That's basically how YouTube pays creators. It's basically, for the most part, it works out to about $10 or $11 if you get 1,000 views. So if on my videos that have 2,000 views, I get about 20 bucks. Before taxes, but kind of crazy. So keep smiling, keep rowing. This thing is really low on coolant. I can't find the block tester stuff. I don't know if Joe's got it locked in his box or whatever. He's on vacation. So we're gonna wing it. What I'll do is crank this over once I get it pretty close to full and see if it pushes any water out. If it does, we got a cylinder head problem. If it doesn't, we're just going after the leaks. So far, nothing is running out the bottom anywhere. Not under pressure yet either, but from what I'm getting described, it doesn't need pressure. Something is pouring out the back now. That's for sure. It's hard to see if it's coming from that or not. Oh yeah, I see it. Yep, I see it. See the hose in the back. See if this light helps better over here. There's a hose back there. It looks like the nipple's probably broken off of the housing. That's where it's leaking from. Not sure if it shows up on camera, but got issues. She got issues. It's running down the back of the engine. That's what we're seeing here. So we're gonna have to dig into this thing. It looks like that stuff was done. Who knows if it was 3 years ago or 3 months ago, but you have to do it again. Get some sweet dormant parts on there. I put this back on to fire it up. Maybe I should still do that. Let's do that. Make sure it doesn't push any water or coolant out of the radiator, because then it could turn into a much larger job. Got to look through the crack here. Nothing. Okay. If it does have a head gasket issue, it would be minor, not major. Let me go let them know up front that. Look at that. Now you can see it. It's spraying coolant everywhere from here. Okay. We know what we're doing to this one, if they let us, and we'll come back. Oh, that's a nice van. A little rusty dusty on there. 2019 Dodge Caravan. Grand Caravan, whatever you like to call it. 20,593 miles, and they got a list of problems they want us to look at. Something about controls missing for the rear. Oh, what the heck? They're not lying. You're missing. What now? Someone unplugged it, and they needed it for a different vehicle or something. This is a van for an organization. I probably shouldn't name them, so I'm not gonna. They work with troubled teens, let's just say. So we always help them out. We give them a little discount action going, and try to take care of them on their vehicles and keep them running. The vehicles do not get any love, as you can tell by the missing control panel on a vehicle with 20,000 miles on it. He also asked about tires and a couple of little things. So we're going to give her a love rating of 3. We're going to hop on out and take a look around. All right, I made a short about it, but this dirt dauber nest hadn't been opened. I noticed there was no holes, so I poked holes in it just to see what's in there, because I think it's some nasty wasps anyway. Pretty gruesome. Looks like whoever puts the eggs in there puts paralyzed spiders or something in there, or probably kills the spiders and puts them in there to feed off of. Pretty gross. Made a short about it. Anyway, focus. I'm gonna go around, check the fluids, check some of those things, and we'll lift it up, take a look at the tires. And one of the other concerns is parking brake doesn't work, so we'll look at that too. I found a staple in this tire, but it wasn't leaking, but the tires were all low on air. We aired them up. She's gonna check on the control panel. All the fluids are good. They said the parking brake doesn't work, but it works. It's just a little, it takes a little bit of a man to push on the pedal, that's all. So we'll see if anything else happens with this one. Mostly the control panel is the big issue. I aired the tires up already, so it's done otherwise. All right, you guys remember in yesterday's video or day before, I said that this customer, I put the trunk shocks and brakes on it. He said I left fingerprints and grease everywhere. And he also said the tailgate doesn't open. So I'm looking in for the fingerprints and stuff. You might remember I gave this poor girl like a 3 or a 4 on the love rating. I think it was a 3 because of the French fries and stuff on the floor. He said I made a mess of his vehicle. So 119,856 miles. It's sweet. So I'm gonna said the tailgate doesn't open anyway. I didn't even fix it. So yeah, I left fingerprints and grease everywhere. I mean, he has pushed some stuff in here and done some damage to the back of it, but I'm not sure where my fingerprints and grease are. This is from stuff bouncing off of it, food and all that, not from me. And plus the tailgate works. He says it doesn't work, so maybe with a different button than the remote. Is this what he thinks I did?
Maybe.
That looks like someone was touching the tailgate when it was raining and the dirt's just bunched up.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's what they do when they open it.
It's dirt all over the back of the car from, see the rain, you can see rain streaks because it hasn't been washed in months. Let's try and see if it opens from this. It doesn't. Oh, there it is. Okay. So he's just taking a lot of drugs or something, I guess. He's, you know that song, Cocaine? That's probably something like that. I don't know. He complains every time he comes in, and I wanted to see it for myself. Maybe I did make, I'm not, you know, I'm not superhuman. I can make a mistake. I will say it's pretty damn rare, though. I don't know what's gonna happen with that thing. All right, I started pulling this out. I'm like, man, I'm gonna show my friend. There's this was stuff down there on the transmission. They pulled it out of the engine cover. So I'm wondering if these little, this has got a lot of hair on it too. What happened to the garbage can? I don't know if it's a cat or rats or both. Got a lot of teeth marks. So I'm gonna pull that engine cover off of there. We're gonna have us a look-see. Look at that nice new lift. Isn't it beautiful? I wouldn't put it past some rascals eating stuff, because the place these vehicles come from, and this is deja vu, by the way, too. I don't know, did I even show you guys this one? It's a different van. The other van's still down there. See it past Sexy Rob? Right on the other side of Sexy Rob? This is another Dodge Caravan. Yeah, there's been Mises in here. I don't know what this is. I don't want to really touch too much of it. Could be rat feces and stuff going on in there. So they're saying they have a coolant leak, and the coolant is way full. Not really sure if they just saw something on the ground or not. Alright, I'm going to keep messing with this and see if I can find this leak. This also has 20,000 miles on it, just like the other one. This is a 2019, just like the other one. 20,869. So, interesting, isn't it? This one, the parking brake probably pushes a little easier, but not much. And this one has the console in the back. They didn't take it out of this one yet. Alright, I'm going to look around and see if I can find a leak. And I'll show you what I find if I do. See if we can get it up on the alignment rack. Check it for leaks. Well, Caravan number 2 is dry as a bone. I mean, I spilled a tiny bit here, taking the cap off, and then I rinsed it off before I went to lunch. So there's a couple little drops here and there, but nothing is leaking, no traces or trails. Usually these cars will leave a little pink trail wherever the coolant might be weeping out of. It's a little bit low in the tank, but it's definitely dry as a bone under here. 20,000 miles, I mean, even for a Chrysler, that's not a lot. Sorry, Chrysler guys, I just can't help myself. It's fun. Helping Rob with his training. Got the hot air intake. That's the sump edition. It's designed for going through puddles of water. The air filter's right in here.
Yeah, so I think it was just that one hole in the front, right? And I would let it come slow down. Got it. Yeah, and I did not loosen that, by the way. And there's nothing on the other side. Oh.
Someone did a rack or something and just left that in there. Dude. You might get mine just a boing. Put the tires next to each other. Except for
So these two.
Yep.
And then
You got the shifter linkage.
Yep.
This is discombobulated. The harness is unbolted from the top. I think those two are it. Look at that thing, huh? Oh, there's a bolt up here too. They hid one up in here.
Why'd you do that?
Honda's like, we gotta harness this 3.0. It's just too much power. We need the 15th bell housing bolt.
Look.
The Chevy Big Block only has 6.
Here's how many torque converter bolts hold it in. And they're 10s.
Nice. 3 liter, man. You
Most
got
of them were loose.
because it's an Acura, top of the line. Making a mess.
I ran it for everything else.
There's your screwdriver. So I get the converter to go back. The converter and the flywheel are getting along better.
Let me get a diaper.
It's making quite the mess. That's what pig mats are for.
What?
That's what pig mats are for. Bill, I mean pigs.
It doesn't matter, it look like I need to find the last two.
Like, don't take all my pig mats.
Good luck with that.
Like, is that really your job? I don't think that's your problem. It's still active.
Bolt still.
Is it? That's good. Oh, yeah. It's on now, babe.
Yeah. I'm clear.
Oh, it can work, don't it? Like your fingers.
They don't go in that far.
Yeah, it came out one notch. That's all through. It doesn't really matter since we're not putting it back there. You can just leave it. This car is now trained. Instead of an Acura, it's called a She No Go.
She definitely no go.
She No Go.
Get up top.
Man, we've been messing with training so long, time really flies. Pump it up if you'll feel something. Jam is pumping. I probably won't need a screwdriver too much for putting it in. It will help coming out. Take it back about an inch.
Oh yeah, 2-stage.
That's what I'm talking about. Stage 2 is way faster.
Way.
Every time I use it, oh, you know what? I wonder if we should put a little grease or something on it.
I will wait right there.
It'll make me feel better. Look at that thing.
Put a little lube on the nub.
Lube it up, it'll slip right in.
I will do it on your side.
Man, it's so good, I can't even imagine. I can only imagine. So this is the right, it's gotta go towards you.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
No, it was in the wrong spot. I was looking
My
at
dial pin is.
I was looking at the wrong hole,
Want some
Jimmy.
needle nosers?
It's in.
What?
I was just looking at the wrong hole.
One
that-
hole, one hole.
You put that lube on there and it got me all distracted.
Put the lube on there, it'll fit any way you put it.
It's barely sitting on mine.
Mine's in like four. Both threaded, but not a whole bunch. Yeah, some of the things will be like 2 different lengths. Honda's like, hey man, mechanics are really smart. Don't worry about all that.
I don't think it was the mechanic or Honda. I think it was aftermarket happening.
I hate that when my tool's too big to fit.
I never run into that.
Haven't had that problem. I'm wondering if the threads are messed up or these bolts are too long.
Well, some of the threads even on this transmission didn't look right.
The threads might be messed up.
Yeah.
Is it straight?
I think you're gonna need a bigger gun.
She said. The training's against the block.
Look at the threads on this one. Totally different than what we're putting in. That's what came out.
Yeah, that's not the right thread.
No.
These are fine pin.
But this
one's right.
was in right here.
This is the right bolt.
This was in right here. One I pulled it apart. But with the other transmission.
That's like the motor mount bolt or something.
They were just making it happen.
If that belongs on any car anywhere, that's the only place it might be.
And this one's broke for the manifold. This thing was missing.
I gotta get a bigger tool. All right, I'm getting a little stubby shaft in here. And I gotta tighten those bolts up. And it's easier to do it before popping this axle on. Just has a little snap ring in here. So we'll get my 14, button those up, get this axle hooked up. It's not up to me.
Oh yeah, I know, right? Can't pick and choose.
Someone put a trainer in this under a shady tree in their backyard. And they had the bolts in the wrong place, you know, and these 2 of the bolts have a shoulder on them to line up the bracket, and one is just a assist bolt up here. And they had them in the wrong place. They had like half of the bell housing bolts missing or the wrong kind of thread in there. So, and he came in asking for a transmission, so we're putting a transmission in. We don't know why he don't want to pay a dime or anything, but after seeing the gobbledygook they had going on in there, he's going to be in better shape just because all the bolts are blown.
That's some shit. You want that Chrysler there inside or what?
I don't know if they were going to ship it or what. It doesn't die on me like they were saying it might. So I think the customer might be taking it, but I'm not sure. She hasn't said. I put it in the fence or pull it the rest of the way in either way.
Alright.
Whatever's easy for you, man.
Certain things, I mean,
Yeah, there's certain things just you don't want to do.
yeah, man. I didn't even want to take that thing in. I just
Hose up there. We got
Ah.
Jimmy's.
Jimmy?
Who's that? That's Joe's. The blue wave and the red
We
wall.
both got snap-on toolboxes. We both sold them and bought icons.
Yeah.
That was nice, huh?
This is piss off the fanboys.
They sold snap-on boxes this big and got icon boxes that are this big.
Yeah. I wanted to buy the Icon box, but the only thing I didn't get approved for monthly payments, so I was like, well, so I talked to my Matco guy, I was like, yo, bro, I will buy that toolbox right now if you can get me a good deal. He gave me $2,000 off, so I was like,
Yeah.
and he cleared my truck account, so I was like,
Do it.
I'm gonna take that real quick.
That's right now. It's a big deal. I felt a bunch of bolts.
Jesus, I saw that.
Bolts like bouncing off my shoulder. I'm like, yeah, we'll find it. Big deal. Get yourself tight about it. Don't worry. We'll figure it out.
These
Figure it out.
guys.
Don't have more
at one
bolts
point,
in it, don't
they had their own
give it
shops.
in.
Like,
Yeah.
Because I asked them, I'm looking at my holy shit, you guys are
But I actually had a snap-on,
a lot of tools.
had an Epic 84 with a hutch.
Oh, Epic 84.
Damn.
$22,000.
So it was a triple bay.
I got a good deal on it.
I got a
I
good
paid
deal.
like 16 and change. And the box I had was almost as big as an Epic, but it gave me like 12 on credit. I only paid $400. And I still felt like I got raped for that. It made me sad looking at it every day. Then I asked him how much a locker was. He told me $5,800. So I sold all my Snap-on Epic stuff and bought this whole setup for a Snap-on locker cost.
One locker.
No, this is what I really fucking wanted. I really wanted this shit. But I just couldn't get it. Like,
They got a new version of the Generals that are pretty nice too.
general one?
There's a new version of it.
Yeah,
They changed the draw catches, which is what I didn't like about it.
Yeah.
They're only 22 deep, but
Yeah, that's the only downside that I kind of
I
don't
never
like.
really. This is 25 or 26.
Wait, this is yours?
It's like 25 or 26 deep. People that
I could go to sleep in it.
All they can talk about
Yeah,
is
really?
4 inches. I used to be a Snap-on fanboy. I had like 7 Snap-on toolboxes.
Jesus fuck.
I used to wear the sweatshirts and the hats, the boots, and all Snap-on stuff. And then the prices started getting so ridiculous, I started feeling stupid. So I'm like, they think I'm stupid because of my loyalty. They're just gonna rape me. It's like a battered wife syndrome.
Yep.
You go home from your beating every day because you really love them and you think you can change it. That's how it is with Snap-on.
Nope. Ain't no way.
So don't get me wrong, but these guys.
All right, subframe is up in there. We are we're closing it down for tonight, guys. I appreciate you watching. Very interesting day today, a little unusual, but we made it work. So thanks for watching. Make sure you torque the like button on the way out and tune in for the video where I'm going to modify my engine stand and give it 2 more wheels so it doesn't tip. So that's going to be on a Saturday or Sunday video, probably Sunday. So torque the like button on your way out, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I hope I see you in the next video because you're awesome.